Alright, been a minute since I recorded the last one, so we'll see if I can remember what's going on. We have quite a few battles here against Independence, so that's a good sign. Hopefully we win some of these. Looks like our assassins are done assassinating, and also the Independents are fighting back, thanks to our scales. So yeah, let's take a look at this. Yeah, this looks like our starting army with, a couple of our tigers along for the ride. Against not too much, so yeah, this should be no problem. And yeah, our front line does okay. We are starting to run out of guys, and then our heavily blessed, hell-blessed even sacreds have no problem with regular archers. So, and then this is okay. So we're taking advantage of the fact that we finished assassinating. Nice. This guy's probably scripted to retreat eventually. Yep, but it looks like there he goes. But so 2 holds, just barely enough. 3 holds might be a little safer. You never know when there's going to be like a crippled guy, in the Independence who takes a while to get off. So yeah, always a little dicey. And then this is right. We're going in against the Wolf Tribe again. Not a lot of sacreds here, but this time we do have a full complement of bodyguards. Because I believe last time they just ran around, if I'm remembering, and ganked our priest. Yeah, of course we're taking a bunch of archer fire. Yeah, our bodyguard's taking the hits. We did stun a guy with one of our short bows from the thunder weapons, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, they're running around again. You can see the tigers are pretty killy. Like once they get rolling, we took a decent amount of damage there, but should be able to regenerate that back up. This is a little concerning, especially because these guys don't love arrow fire. So we'll see. What are we doing, tigers? Okay, they're gonna go after the archers. That's good. This. Come on, basically oh yeah, there we go. Oh, our priest. Holding out. Wow. Wow, nicely done. He's got the 10 defense. Honestly, I can't believe he survived that. That was still pretty lucky. And then, our tigers triggered the rout. Now it was kind of a race against time. We kind of lost the race against time, but then, hey, we got lucky with the priest. So yeah, definitely the full complement of bodyguards, making a huge difference there. I think if we hadn't had them, we would have had another loss. And yeah, just kind of highlights, if you're doing this, small groups of, heavily blessed sacreds, you either need something pretty tanky leading them or bodyguards. And even then, it's a little dicey. But that does work out for us. Whoops. So we lose the bodyguards, but our 4 tiger riders do just fine against the wolf tribe. So yeah, that's improved definitely. And is this the barbarians? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, again, full complement of bodyguards. We lost the commander last time on this as well. And so yeah, we're getting in some shots, and yeah, wow, we're taking some big hits there. So I don't think, we still have, 12 hit points, right? So we can, maybe take one more hit on those guys, but, we'll start to regenerate it. Yeah, but you can see, it's too much. Our defense, I really thought our defense would have done more for us. It's getting driven down a bit, but not that much. We're just, we're seeing a lot of attacks, too many attacks, definitely. And now our priest has decided to go in, which is kind of concerning. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. These guys are doing pretty well. Probably looks like just a stack of these guys would do much better. Barbarians are pretty good at killing elites, so probably irresponsible of me to have slammed another group, into these guys again. But again, right? The point is to see what the sacreds are capable of, what the bless is capable of. If you don't get perfect expansion, right out the gate, that's fine, that's expected, right? We're just trying things out. So this is the time and the place in my mind, to try stuff like this. And in a real game, usually you want to be a little more conservative. It depends. You kind of have to play right on that knife's edge a lot of times, if you want to win. win the whole game. So you're still going to take risks in expansion, but like probably not like this. So yeah, I would say like, there's no way. I'm not sure what we'd need, to get just a group of our 4 guys to work against the barbarians. But the high defense clearly is not enough, or we'd need even higher defense. And like 22 is pretty good. Not fantastic, but anyway. So yeah, that does not work out. We lose another expansion party, and then okay, some adventurers are getting chased, which is going to be this unexpected battle. Let's take a look, see if they win. I guess it doesn't really matter since we're not playing long term. We have a little bit of PD here. Yeah, these foul spawn are pretty awful, so we might actually come away with this. Although yeah. Now we have mages in melee. That's not a good sign. They're getting vined up. Yeah, this would be really sad, in a real game, because some of those adventurers are healers, which is really rare and just nice to have. So yeah, we lose that. Dang it. So yeah, I'll see you guys after the jump. Okay, and this is what we have planned. So we're going to hang out with this tiger group here. They're the ones that lost the bodyguards. I'm going to try to recruit some wolf tribe. I'm pretty sure you cannot use undisciplined troops as bodyguards, but I'm going to confirm that. And yeah, because we could go in against this wolf tribe, but I mean, we saw how without bodyguards that failed. So yeah, we're going to give that a shot, and then we're going to send our latest Tiger Rider group, right, what does have bodyguards. They're just going to clean out this Dark Vine. I was tempted to try to assassinate it, but I think it's actually going to rock our assassins. So yeah, we'll use the Tigers to go there, and then we might combine Tigers like to take this out to kind of help with the fact that we're low on bodyguards. And then, our main army or whatever, our starting force is going to go in against this easy province. I think we might bump, or possibly the other faction went in against this turn. I can't remember. But yeah, indie-wise, like this should be no problem. And then we're switching over recruitment. So we're still going to get one more priest to kind of finish out. We were finishing off one of these astral guys. Not actually sure what happened there. Probably from more priest recruitment last turn. But we're going to stop recruiting our sacreds for now. I think I have enough sacred groups and I've been getting like a decent enough idea of the bless. And I really do want to get rid of these barbarians and, kind of want to start to see like how the troops do. I think these guys are going to trade okay with the barbarians, right? I mean, they have no protection, but it's like whatever. Protection doesn't really help that much unless you have a ton against barbarians. So that's fine. Defense skill, like these guys are going to die for sure, but they get 2 attacks, right? They get a bite and a spear, a decent enough attack, right? So they're pretty killy, and they get to throw nets. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be bloody, and they are a little expensive, actually. I missed that. They're kind of gold expensive, so that does hurt a bit. But yeah, we can pump out quite a few because they don't require a lot of resources. They are decently intensive on recruitment points. Certainly, like with this build as it stands, we can see in this case, right, just because these guys are so recruitment point intensive, it actually kind of works out for us. But we have full sloth right now, so resources are really where we're getting hurt. We're actually getting helped a decent amount for our recruitment points. And it looks like we have quite a few cheap options here, like kind of across the board, both resource and recruitment point wise. So like we could certainly tank productivity, right? We don't need productivity. It will make these guys, right, a little tougher to recruit, although not crazy bad, because I mean 12 resources is not the end of the world. And then like, yeah, these guys, so like really across the board, like pretty low need for resources, right? This is our most resource intensive troop, yeah, even more than our sacred. And so like, yeah, and they seem good, right? So like, there's an argument to be made, maybe not to tank it completely, but yeah, like, I don't know, we can get like 7 or 8 or 10 or something of them. So we'll do some recruitment to get an idea there. But yeah, I would say that like so far, dumping into sloth, not really painful on this nation, in terms of recruitment, right? And that's one of the things that, when you take scales this bad, now again, the order does kind of, you know, when you fully tank, then you really feel where it's painful. But, you know, we wanted to use the sacreds, and we knew that, you know, we were going to need recruitment points. And, you know, based off of, you know, we have cheap options, definitely, right? Like, you know, a lot of these guys are less recruitment points than average, right? Average being about 10. So we're not actually, other than the cavalry, right? So it's like if we dumped order, then, you know, we wouldn't really get to use our sacreds, and we wouldn't really get to use this cavalry. But like otherwise, like still probably wouldn't, you know, we could still spam out some okay sized armies. You know, we're not going to get anything huge. But yeah, I would say, you know, recruitment points are going to be more, order is going to be more painful to tank on this nation than productivity. You know, it's just something that we're seeing from, you know, playing with a kind of a suboptimal like scales approach. So yeah, that's kind of what we have planned, and we'll see how it goes. And our Marcata had no battles this turn, which is not a good sign. And it looks like we are finally done assassinating, and we did not find any sites. And then, you know, yeah, some bad events, because Misfortune 3 hurts. So yeah, well, I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned for the Marcata. It is not going well for them. These scales are absolutely brutal. So yeah, we have, you know, this expansion force moving up. I don't really think this is enough to take on all this heavy infantry and cavalry. So we're going to, you know, keep on heading north, probably go after these deer tribe, you know, maybe these wolf tribe. I don't think these are the same wolf tribe that we're seeing as the other nation, but we'll see. Yeah, probably the deer tribe though, because that'll be easier. We will at least capture this with, you know, just a commander, an extra bishop in the capital, and our assassin is going to move on. We have another group getting ready that, like, maybe we could push out this turn, but it's not big. So we're going to go through another round of recruitment, get a few more sacreds, a bit more of a front line. We are getting a mage just because he's, you know, decently cheap. And yeah, we would like to get a fort here. You know, for these shorter test games, like, not really planning on carrying this very far. Probably, like, we'll just do, like, one decently sized battle, you know, maybe, like, turn 16 or something, right, with the two nations, and kind of see how the sacreds stack up against each other. But I still try to, like, build infrastructure, you know, just to get a feel of, like, well, like, how late is it? You know, it's not a very realistic run if you just ignore infrastructure completely. I mean, unless, you know, that's actually what you want your plan to be. We're making so little money, and our expansion has gone so poorly. Like, we probably won't get a fort there next turn anyway. But yeah, so we're trying to save some money. You know, our fort is going to be late coming up. Obviously, like, what, we have 5 provinces on turn 7 with Hellblessed Sacreds. Like, this is what a miserable failure, right, looks like for a build. And yeah, again, another reason, like, you should always practice expansion testing. Or yeah, test expansion. Because yeah, like, it's just, you know, getting into a multiplayer game kind of takes a minute, and it's a whole process. So it really, I feel like, kind of sucks if it's, because you don't really get a chance to really even play, you know, if you fail expansion, because somebody's going to come along and eat you. So yeah, so I definitely think it's good to, you know, go through this process, and this is what it looks like, right? This is not working. This is a bad sign if it looks like this. So yeah, we'll see if they can turn it around. All right, let's see how Rotting Time did. 2 battles. I think these are both real. Can't remember. Right, yeah. Starting army, marching on. Pretty solid starting army, actually, I would say. I mean, you know, we still have decent number of the troops left. They've captured a lot of provinces. I mean, we did add on to it significantly, right? Our first round of Tiger recruitment, you know, we've been using groups of 4 as, like, expansion parties on their own, so this is a bit oversized, but it is nice to have, like, a stronger expansion force that can hit nastier provinces, although this was a really easy province, and we don't actually have a ton here. But anyway, yeah, so they handle that no problem. And then this is, oh yeah, we're just cleaning out, the vines, right? Or the vine. So yeah, this will be a little interesting. I think this is going to go well for us because it doesn't have shock resistance, so hopefully we get the stun. Yeah. So that's kind of an ideal case. And Dark Vines aren't like that bad, although they can be a little nasty because they get a decent number of attacks and a lot of hit points. But yeah, they killed them real nice there, and then yeah, Misfortune. So yeah, I'll see you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned for our Tigers. Things are definitely going better for this faction. So we're going to combine on this Wolf Tribe. You cannot use undisciplined troops as bodyguards, as I suspected, right? You can't give them any order, but undisciplined. So we're just going to leave these guys behind because, yeah, these guys, like, their leadership is already terrible, so it's not really worth the morale hit of, like, bringing another squad in. So it's kind of wasted money, but again, testing game. And so yeah, both groups, like mainly for the bodyguards, I think like, our 4 Tigers can handle these guys, in this amount, but again, like, yeah, without the bodyguards, so we're just going to use one set of bodyguards to like cover the other priest, and then, yeah, I don't know, we might split, I don't know, we'll see. From there we have options, and then, yeah, this province looks really easy, so we're going to send it in. Longbowmen are actually a little scary. There could actually be some knights in here that aren't showing up, in the scouting report, but I think our Tiger Riders with the thunder weapons will stack up okay against knights. The main thing we're doing is we're building a fort here this turn, so that is, we're a little late, 2 turns late, I would say, but like, it's not, it's okay. And then, overall, and then that's pretty much all of our money though, right? We're doing like absolutely no recruitment anywhere. So like that's obviously not good, but yeah, I mean, it's what, turn 8 and we have 9 provinces, so I'd say you want to at least keep up with the turn count, right? So it's like if you finish expansion with 12 provinces, right, on turn 12, that's not good, but like you might live. Right, like you're gonna need to keep eating. Like it's gonna be scary times. Things didn't go great, right? Like if you finish expansion with only 12 provinces, that's kind of like you just barely cleared the bar. So if you're ahead of the turn count, that's a good sign. If you're at the turn count, that's not great. And if you're behind, right, there's like, turn 8 and you have 6 provinces or something, that's not a good sign. Like you better. I hope you have some explosive moments ahead in the next few turns. So, we're 1 province ahead, which is not, right, for the amount of points that we put into the Bless. I would say we're not really getting like great return on investment, right? This is not particularly fantastic expansion. So while, this is looking more viable, right? Like these sacreds are looking like, yeah, like could, a bless is a consideration here. At least the way that I've gone didn't work out. So it's not a good bless, but probably, these sacreds are, you shouldn't write them off. So yeah, that's what we have planned. And now let's see how our poor Marcata are doing. So I think this is, oh, right, we're just clearing out, yeah, these guys just retreat off, assassins, hooray. We have no real battles, some, bad events, that's fine, and yeah, I'll see you guys after the cut. So yeah, no fort over here. Yeah, maybe really should be cutting more recruitment to actually get the fort up. Like we're not really actually saving any gold. I don't know, getting another mage, like we are at least doing some research. Recruiting more of our sacreds, just because again that's kind of the point of the build. So even though it's not working, like we'll still give it a shot. We are having at least like 1 attack this turn going in against the deer tribe. Everybody, both these groups have a decent amount of archers, which is not going to be great for our sacreds, but it is what it is. We'll see how it goes, and then we're moving out our other sacred group down here, like same kind of story. We'll probably go after this province, since obviously we know that this is probably going to get taken by the other faction this turn, but if they fail, then definitely we'll jump in and grab this, doing a little bit more assassinating here because it's out of the way and not super valuable. It isn't even a cap circle province, so like yeah, we can take our time on that one, and then yeah, I think that more or less covers it for our Marcata. All right, let's see some barbarian assassinations. We can actually watch one of these. Barbarians are pretty tough to assassinate with regular vanilla I mean, it's like 50-50-ish, maybe 60-40 in the barbarians' favor. Uh-oh, this guy, he's going to retreat. Oh, hey, he fought back. Not sure why he hung out there. Maybe he was on hold and retreat on the double check his script. I love retreating assassins. But yeah, that really worked out for him. So let's see. Yeah, wow. So, okay, but yeah, so in this case, right, our assassin. So, 2 out of 3, like, that's not bad. That's maybe a little, it's very RNG heavy, right? So it's like these kind of fights can go either way. Although, with these assassins, no poison, like just short swords. Maybe slightly better skills than vanilla assassins. But yeah, I think it's going to be a similar story. But that was a pretty good round of assassination. Probably wouldn't normally do this, in an actual game. It's a little too risky. Although cutting down, like, I don't think we're going to get very many more provinces with our assassins. So cutting down on our gold upkeep is kind of nice as we lose assassins. So yeah, this I think is the combined group. Yeah, both priests are here. And yeah, this should be no problem, like even if we lose one priest to arrow fire, and they are going for him. And then of course, yeah, we have enough tigers now that like nobody actually manages to pull off the run by. And what are we doing here, tigers? Oh, now they're shooting. Man, the bow is, if anything, kind of more of a liability. I don't think it's really helping. I think we did lose a priest. Probably wouldn't have if they'd actually like run in and just started killing the archers. We have one guy who's like crippled or something. No, maybe just thinking about shooting his bow more. So that's not ideal. Then we lose a priest. Oops, wrong battle. So yeah, we lose one of our sacreds too. Ouch. So yeah, we don't have that much protection, so Wolf Tribe can be kind of nasty. We are relying on the defense. And like, maybe it was an archer. So anyway, that was not super clean, but we at least did get the win. It looks like this went decently well. I do think I saw some knights in there though. Yep. The scout reports love to do stuff like this. Not very many knights though. Yeah, anytime you see longbowmen, and it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, there's no knights. Like, yeah, that's probably a lie. So it looks like the charge is going to get wasted on our garbage for the most part, which is, good news. It's probably going to be the end for these guys. And it's a little scary, right, because our commander's over here and these guys are set to attack rear. Maybe should have changed the script on that. But, that was one advantage, right? Our prophet, right, with his smite spell is able to take care of, like, elites pretty effectively. And then they just go into shooting with the bows. Really don't. I think the short bow is actually like maybe a downgrade for these sacreds. That's, doesn't come up a lot. There's not very many sacreds in vanilla that also like have a bow, but then, are effective in melee. So it's something you're going to see more in like probably mod nations and then obviously the nation generator. But definitely something to consider. So yeah, that goes pretty well for us overall. I mean, we lose the last dregs of our front line, but knights can be a little scary. There weren't that many of them. So yeah, went fine. Some guys retreated, probably our last impaler there. So yeah, but also like a decent turn for these guys. So I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned for our tigers. So yeah, we're gonna combine these groups. There's only one leader, and we're just gonna send them in here. Since this is an easy province, we can see a stack here. Probably gonna come here, right? Obviously, when you're playing against yourself, you can engineer bumps if you want to. I'm not really interested because I want to kind of see how these. Give those monkeys, those Marcata, a couple more cracks at some independence, just for fun. And then, this doesn't really have anywhere to go, so we're just, going to say hello to our neighbors here, and kind of simulate, like, yeah, you'd start to see pressure potentially, like in this situation. This is pretty early, but, if you're going for a Hellblessing build, like, yeah, you're probably going to try to apply pressure on your opponents early, and then obviously, 1v1 situation, there's absolutely no reason not to attack when you can. And then we are recruiting, more of these guys. Probably actually not going to need them since it looks like our assassins are going to, succeed against the barbarians. But just in case they don't, we'll move them out probably next turn, and it'll, be a significant force, kind of build our starting army around that, and, we'll probably have a showdown somewhere around this province, which is where the other faction's trying to build its fort. So it's going to be, an obvious objective, and, we're going to try to cover it, and then we're kind of headed that way anyway with a lot of our expansion. And then we're buying a bunch of mercenaries. I've been ignoring the mercenaries because, like, yeah, pretty broke, and then I tend to ignore them anyway, but had some leftover money this turn, right, because things are going better for this faction. And so, yeah, turning that into more advantage, getting some mercenaries here. We'll probably send them against, like, these two provinces, maybe, combine with our tigers to grab this. So yeah, like, expansion has not gone great, like, lost quite a few tigers, and, like I said, I think there's definitely some problems with these sacreds, but, definitely going a lot better than our other friends. And speaking of those Marcata, let's see, let's see how this goes. Okay, right, this is our profit group. Yeah, this is a problem. So, like, I keep forgetting how fast these Marcata are. So they're kind of getting ahead. Yeah, this is absolutely not what you want. They're interspersed amongst our front line, and so they're going to blow up. And, yeah, our other guys definitely don't have fire resistance. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's rough. So they're at least in range now. And, of course, like, yeah, they're going to attract the arrow fire because it just, they have absolutely no protection. So they are getting a few hits at least with the thunder weapons now, but, like, yeah, archers just clean them up. And then, yeah, of course, we're getting a rout from our front line because we just have absolute garbage. He's casting Heavenly Bolt. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, so Deer Tribe, I think, sometimes get air. Yeah, so this guy ran him into some air and must have had some gems, too. So our Sacreds are still fighting. Like, yeah, those death explosions, especially, like, from the range stuff, really just, But even when they die, like, at close range, it doesn't seem great. We do at least rout the front line. The explosion damage is somewhat based on the unit's size. So in some ways, right, these size 1 are kind of the worst target for death explosion. You're going to get, like, the weakest explosion, at least I'll have to look up exactly how it works. I can't remember if it's area or increased damage. So that's a fail. I think if we had spread out the units more effectively, we might have won, but it still would have been really rough and really bloody. But yeah, there's just the archers that are there. We knew archers were going to be a problem for this. Hey, our fortune teller preventing a bad event. That's nice. And, we didn't find any sights. And our assassin, at least our assassin's still cruising. So yeah, see you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned. Not too much. We just have, the one other group. I do think they'll be able to win this and have spaced out the Marcata a bit more. So hopefully this, yeah, we won't get explosions inside our front line this time. So we'll see how that goes. Continuing our assassination. And then, yeah, just kind of giving up on the fort. It's just not going to happen. Like, yeah, wow, these scales are just, wow, just truly abysmal. I kind of hate playing, like, Hellbless. So, like, it's fun to do in the testing, but it's not my preferred style of play. So, we're getting more Sacreds, right? Because that's sort of the point. We're getting a Fire 2 Mage, I think. Yeah, because we have some research, at least, right? We have some Conjuration research. We have some Fire Gems. Like, kind of fire is one of our things. So, in an early fight, like, we're going to try to use some Fire Elementals and see how that goes. Yeah, these guys, like, maybe do some air elementals, but we are a lot more limited in terms of our air income. Most have been getting these guys just because they seem decent and they're cheap. So yeah, gonna move one of them out, do a little site searching, maybe find some air, and then, someday, like, maybe build a lab here, right? I mean, this would be where we would fortify, but it's just, with how we're doing, and, these guys are closing in, like, probably we're gonna be, like, if you were actually in this situation, it's like you're gonna have to fight somebody. Probably, I don't think you're gonna get infrastructure up. So we're also trying to just do some, like, indie recruitment. Yeah, maybe you should have gone in on mercenaries, but I just, there's no way that we could actually outbid the other player in all likelihood. So we'll see. Maybe go in for the mercenaries. Bidding against yourself with mercenaries is always a little weird since you kind of, know, although I'm pretty quick to forget exactly what I bid. So we'll see. I might battle myself for some mercenaries. But yeah, it kind of looks like it's curtains. Like, certainly if I was just, it's fun to, like, throw the Sacreds against each other, but it wouldn't really be necessary, right? It's like this build has done so badly. It's sort of like, well, who cares like how they perform against other sacreds? Like they can't even expand. So just for fun, like we'll kind of finish it out and like do one battle, like hopefully gather some stuff up. But anyway, yeah, this is what we have planned. All right, let's see how the tigers are doing. First, the assassinations. Yeah, you can see so we're creating possibly a super experienced barbarian chief that's going to be impossible, to assassinate. Let's take a look at this last one. See, like once you give him some experience stars, so he did take some damage, but he's got 1 experience star. It's at night, so like still, we could have won this, but does he get another experience star? No, not yet. But anyway, like once you start to level up a particular commander who's like maybe right at the edge of what you would be able to assassinate, like sometimes you create somebody that you just like you can't assassinate him now. I don't think that barbarian chief is to that point yet, but you can see that it's like trying to assassinate barbarians is a bit tough. Certainly there's plenty of assassins out there that can pull it off, but not these ones, not effectively. So we're just expanding into our neighbors here. I think this is just like 6 PD and like some leftover garbage. There is an outside possibility that our commander gets sniped, but there's not too much arrow fire. Just like 3 bowmen. And like the tigers do just fine against just a little bit of PD. So not too surprising there. That sucks for our Marcata. And then, this is against the Wolf Tribe, I think. A lot of Wolf Tribe. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, this is going to be pretty easy. We've got our oversized expansion group now because, we lost our other commander. Definitely an argument against Sacred Expansion, right, with this faction because the commanders have been a serious problem. And then this whole bow thing, is not great. And they are set to attack. We can double check that. But anyway, it works out for us fine. This is an easy province. Events. This is all going to be bad. Ooh, barbarians. Is this where we're building our fort? No. So that's good, but we lose this province, so that's bad. And then we got the mercenaries, not surprising. And see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned. Continuing to raid our neighbor, of course. Going in against these wolf tribe, which a little bit, this could not work out. I mean, we do have more sacreds here. We do have bodyguards. That's all good, but I mean, if it's actually 90, I don't think it is, but still, there's quite a few wolf tribe here. Was planning on sending the swordsmen across the river to help. And last turn they would have been able to, but unfortunately this turn, despite it being, the middle of winter, we did take full heat and we have strong dominion here. And so this heated up enough. So now we can't cross the river. Hiring the mercenaries here was a mistake. And you just got to be careful of your scales. Really think about that. So we're going to send them in against the barbarians, mostly just so they can cross the river and then help us out with other stuff. Actually going to hold the mercenaries back. This is the opposite, of what you want to do in an actual game. You want the mercenaries to take casualties, but I am curious to see how these guys perform against the barbarians, right? And if they do, as I expect them to. So we're going to see how that goes, and otherwise moving a mage out, to build a little more infrastructure, and we're going back to our Tiger Rider recruitment. We're up to 5 now because we're not using a holy point for a commander. We're just going to get like one of these astral nature mages. I think we have alteration 4 coming up, so we'll be able to spam out some bugs and like body ethereal, and then maybe get some extra paths for some site searching. That's what we have planned for these guys. And now on to our poor Marcata. Let's see if this expansion went a little better. Fingers crossed. We do at least have better spacing. Like there's bodyguards and everything. Bless is going to be coming out. Yeah. Looks like the archers. I mean, these guys, the barbarians are fairly attractive targets and they are closer. Yeah, so it looks like the front squad, right, is now starting to take the archer fire, which is good, right? So back positioning helped a lot, so that our guys aren't getting blown up. And like now the thunder weapons is like doing okay, not really enough to prevent our front line from getting eliminated, since like they really do kind of suck. But I think we're gonna get the win on this. We'll see. Oh, somebody actually got somebody with a dancing fist there, I think, and got another stun. We'll see. Might see some explosions here. No, wow. So, you just need a ton of, okay. Yeah, now the archers, of course, there's an explosion. So yeah, it works out just barely. It looks like one of these groups can like basically take a province, a fairly weak province, a really weak province, and then like that's it. Then they're spent. So yeah, this bless is not a good idea. And of course, like, yeah, we already saw this on the other guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned for our Marcata. I think, expansion is pretty much done. Just gathering kind of, what we can, recruiting some more garbage here, basically just preparing for kind of a final battle, moving out a bunch of our mages, like giving them some gems. Should probably actually give this guy like some more gems. Still maybe planning on building a lab, on this province. And like, yeah, we have enough research at least for small elementals. So like we'll get to see, how that kind of works like in an early game situation. But yeah, like I said, this build has failed completely. And then, yeah, we're doing a little rating down here with what's left of our group. So yeah, just kind of like building up, gonna see kind of how the mages perform like in an early battle situation, and interested to see kind of like how the tigers do, to try to like rush like kind of a weak opponent early on. So yeah, not worrying about infrastructure, like we don't have the money. We would have to have much better expansion with skills this bad. So anyway, yeah, that's what we have planned for our Marcata. All right, and back with the tigers, where things are actually still happening. Right, this is the barbarians, so this is actually not our tigers. So let's see how these guys do. Expect it to be bloody. The nets are going to help a lot. Yeah, so nets against barbarians. Well, we'll see. It's still not over yet. Yeah, it's bloody. So it works out, but yeah, maybe an expensive way to handle that, since these guys are like more gold than normal. So let's see. Yeah, we lose like 18 of these runners, but we do take out 41 barbarians. So like, not the worst trade, but like not maybe the best way to take out barbarians, but certainly a way. And like, yeah, these runners, like, they seem like decently killy, and we can pump out quite a few of them, so kind of a useful thing to have in our back pocket, and it's like something to think about for like a scales build. And then this must be our tigers going up against quite a few wolf tribe, if the scouting report is to be believed. Yeah, that's not 90, but it is a lot. Luckily, it looks like they're archers. Oh no, they're starting to target our back line. But yeah, you can see like the tigers do kill pretty gosh darn quick. I do think we lose one or two. Wow, yeah. The arrows, like the bow, is just brutal, right? They just like to shoot at archers. I think they're going to shoot until they run out of arrows, which is just atrocious. Let's double check that they actually are on attack. So it works out for us, but yeah, that's pretty scary. And yeah, really a mark against like, expansions. Yeah, we lose one bodyguard, mark against like sacred expansion with this faction. And then, yeah, we take out, minimal PD. So they're at least capable of that. And then we get raided by the Marcata. Let's see how the Marcata do against, this might just be 1 PD. No, this is 6. So like, yeah, I think this is actually going to go against, yeah, there they go, blowing up. Oh, it is at least hilarious. So yeah, they should handle this front line. Yep, no problem. Get some dancing fists in there. And yeah, there you go. So they raid just fine. That actually didn't even go half bad. Like, what? Okay, we lose 4. That's not fantastic. But like, yeah, these guys could raid another province, like a really lightly defended province. So that kind of works out. Not for our tigers. And then, yeah, we have a new hero, and I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned. We are building a lab down here. So, overall, like, infrastructure is going okay for these guys. Like, we will have a palisade up on turn 12 with the lab. So, we'll have a second place to recruit mages from. Like, for a Hellblessed kind of expansion where, money is going to be a little tighter, it's not great infrastructure-wise, but it's workable, right? So, okay, like this could work against, now, you have to consider, right? It's like, okay, this is up against a build that completely failed. So, you got to consider that. Like, we have more of the map than you might reasonably expect, like, against a competent opponent. Yeah, using the mercenaries to like take this because our elephants can make it. Otherwise, like just marching forward with this group, gonna use our tigers to take this out. Bringing these tigers up, normally would probably like go after this province, right, and take it back from barbarians. But we'll probably just link up, in preparation for our battle here to just kind of close this out. Because we've kind of learned, again, like I probably wouldn't continue playing this game if I wasn't like casting it and kind of wanted just like an interesting end. just because of how everything shook out. But it is how I like to end like these kind of builds, is to like then like test the sacreds against each other, test like early research, just see how it feels. So we'll probably do like one more round of recruitment in the capital. And we're sending a couple mages out, one mage out. Of course, like this guy rolled his 10% random and managed to get death twice. So like this is a super useful mage. It's just always the way you're going to see like the best, coolest results in your test games. And then in real games, you're going to get bad luck. It's just how things go. So anyway, we're going to move him forward. He's going to do a little site searching and help us kind of in the final battle. We'll maybe try like a little body ethereal spam and, maybe some swarm, because we have some early alteration research. But yeah, so that's kind of not up to too much. Let's just double check. Yeah, so these guys are on hold and then attack closest. So I guess, they just choose to use their bows like once they, kind of kill their first melee target, which is kind of interesting, but not super useful. So anyway, yeah, that's what we have planned. And the walls are closing in for our Markata friends. They did find a witch's bog though, which is nice, doing a little site searching. And our assassin, like he's a champ, he's a hero. So he's just doing his thing. And then let's see, yeah, so, we lose this province, we know about that, and then, yeah, we managed, right, we saw this as well, so nothing there, and then, some bad events, that's what happens when you go Misfortune 3 and all the other bad scales. So, like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and just move everybody into this province, and then let's see, we're going to go ahead and we may not even bother doing any more recruitment in the capital. Normally, like get to take a lot of, when you know what the opponent is going to be doing and they're going to play ball, this is, not optimal play, just moving stuff out of our capital and like, yeah, may not even do any recruitment here. But yeah, sorry, dragging you guys into the micro. I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, and this is what we have planned. Not bothering with any more recruitment in our capital. Not really expecting, I don't know, we might have time to move it in there, but yeah, we've gone and done a big old PD dump here, which is probably actually going to be more effective than our sacreds. And then, continuing to recruit up, just what are these, light infantry, militia even. So anyway, just recruiting a pile of garbage to have in front of our sacreds and like moving our mages up. Obviously we are going to have lesser elementals, so it'll be interesting to see how the tigers do against that. Can't remember if we put magic weapons on the tigers. If we did not, yeah, some of the elementals, might be a problem for them. Otherwise, like, yeah, rating down, like, gonna just try to link up. I think these guys are probably gonna bump into stuff, but yeah, I can't even remember. So anyway, that's what we have planned for these guys. All right, and our tigers march forward. I think this is against the deer tribe that are Markata weakened. Yeah, just the archers left, which is a little scary for our priest. But yeah, luckily they shoot at our tigers, and there's only one group, so our tigers are going to go in and melee them, and yeah, this should be no problem. So they do take some damage, but they have enough of a health pool. I don't think we lose any there. Yeah, deer tribe archers, not exactly the strongest. And of course, yeah, here are our other sacreds raiding on against 6PD. It is always interesting to see how, they do against 6PD. Some explosions. Come on, guys. You can pull it out. No, they cannot. Ooh, and the mercenaries were here, too. Although, they do take out some guys while they go down. So, it's not all is lost. So we lose all the sacreds. But we do take out 10 mercenaries. Not a great trade, but at least a trade. So that's not great for our Markata. And then let's see, we get attacked by the elephants. And it's just one PD here. So I think we know how that goes. Elephants are going to squish those. Yep, no problem. And then, yeah, some bad events, of course. Hey, plus 11 water gems. That's really nice. And then, yeah, what are these? Some barbarians. Hey, but they run into, one of our expansion groups here who do pretty well. So there you go, like 40 barbarians. What is this? This is like our starting army. So yeah, barbarians do not love arrows. Not that we have a ton of arrows, and then they get spread out a little bit just by our one PD. And then, yeah, our Tiger Riders, we do have that high defense, and then, of course, like, yeah, barbarians don't have the best morale, so, we were able to win out there, although, yeah, a little dicey. We've certainly seen how these guys do against barbarians sometimes, but, once you get, like, that critical mass, then the barbarians are going to be no trouble. And then we finished our palisade, right? So, you know, turn 12. Expansion is done, and we have a little bit of infrastructure. I'll see you guys after the jump. All right, so we finished expansion with 16 provinces, which is, you know, acceptable, but not great expansion, you know, especially for how much we sacrificed. So, you know, while this build didn't completely fail, you know, it's not something that I'm thrilled with, and it doesn't, you know, I'm not like, oh yeah, like let's Hellbless these sacreds, like totally worth it. I want to take this into a multiplayer game. Like, nah, not really. But, you know, certainly did better than than the other build. So, you know, we're pretty much just bringing stuff forward to kind of gather up. We might not actually hit our research goal. Our research is going a little slower with these guys for whatever reason. We maybe don't have quite as many mages because, you know, we've had more numerous expansion parties. So we've had to recruit like more priests than the other faction, you know, who is kind of like alternating like a priest and a mage. So yeah, we do have another fort up though with a lab. Not doing any recruitment here because we're trying to upgrade it. But yeah, so we're just going to try to gather everything up, you know, move our mages forward, and, you know, have that final battle. And then of course life is hard for our poor Marcata. Yeah, we saw this, and yeah, we saw that. So they don't have anything going on that we haven't seen before, so I'll see you guys after the cut. Yeah, no plans really to speak of. You know, just continuing to dig in and try to make this as nasty of a province to take as possible. So yeah, we'll see in a couple turns how that works out. All right, so I went ahead and skipped a couple build-up turns since they were going to be very interesting. So this is turn 15 now. We're going to have our big battle. And then, yeah, this is from our Tiger's perspective. Not too much, probably wouldn't actually launch this attack on a real game. You know, money-wise, we're still in a good place. We could be building another fort this turn. You know, we've been able to continue to recruit like our sacreds, and we have like a decent number of them stacked up on the capital that I wasn't able to bring up. And, you know, our other fort is done and like has a few troops as garrison and has been pumping out mages. So like, yeah, things are going fine for this, and there's really no need to like risk an attack like this. But, you know, we're just interested in seeing a fun battle. So yeah, everybody's just gonna hold mainly so we can just do some body ethereal and luck spam. I definitely forgot to bring up some nature gems, so we're not gonna be doing any swarm, which is sad because we could do it, and is kind of one of the big like issues. We don't really have enough bodies here, and like these guys are gonna melt fairly quickly. So yeah, like we'll see. I mean, you know, these tigers definitely far outclass, and like everybody's gonna get blessed, and like body ethereal and like luck spam is like pretty good early on, and we have like a decent number of mages here to do it. So like, yeah, you know, we'll see how it goes, and let's see what our Marcata have prepared. All right, and our Marcata are basically the reverse. They have a ton of trash, done a huge PD dump here. This is probably on the high end of what you might see, you know, in a multiplayer game, but yeah, 25 is not unheard of, especially in, you know, desperate straits, and this is pretty desperate here for our Marcata. You know, otherwise, like, yeah, just a bunch of like garbage militia. Split the sacreds out into 2 squads, so hopefully, you know, if they do take arrow fire, you know, at least one of them won't be targeted. And then, you know, yeah, just garbage in the front, and then leaning on like lesser fire or lesser elementals in general of all stripes, which seems to be like a reasonable early defense, right, for this nation. You know, they kind of have like all the elemental paths kind of light in air, but you know, when you're just doing the lessers, all you really need is like one path in that path. So yeah, I think the Marcata are actually going to win mostly on the strength of like the elementals, but yeah, should be an interesting battle, so we'll see how it goes. All right, and before we jump into our battle, just something I've been doing in the background. Sometimes you can expand with indies, so you know, I've recruited a bunch of Wolf Tribe. Wolf Tribe aren't great, but they're not terrible. I think we're going to run into problems here because of this heavy infantry, and of course always the danger of having our commander sniped. Yeah, they don't have great morale. You can see like against the lighter stuff they did fine. So yeah, against the heavy infantry, not so great. This is probably better in like early age, but you know, just something to consider. You definitely can expand with indies, you know, either mixed into your main expansion groups, or sometimes, you know, completely on their own, but not in that case. So yeah, let's see how the main battle goes. So yeah, we do have a few archers here, but they have way too many targets to shoot from. They do zero in on the sacreds though. That is a huge problem. And then yeah, our body ethereal spam starting to go out. Unfortunately, Yeah, we're getting some of our runners here, right? The hit point density on these guys is actually probably a little bit better because we can only get 2 to a square here. We get 3 to a square with the runners. That's another downside, right, of the Undying HP, is that I don't think the spellcasters really consider it. So a lot of our buffs are sadly going on our runners, and of course, yeah, the air elementals now jump in. Do we have magic weapons on the Bless? No, we do not, but shock weapons would normally help us, but not so much against air elementals. So that's going to be a big problem. And, you know, we can already see, like, right in the first, like, player-to-player encounter, you know, there are problems, you know, with the Tiger Bless. And yeah, the fire elementals coming out. It is cold here, so they're not going to love that. And of course, the water elementals are now ice elementals. And like, yeah, the shock weapons actually like doing a pretty good job against these runners. These are kind of the ideal case: low protection, no shield. So yeah, they're getting cleaned up even with the body ethereal and the luck. And of course, like now our Tiger Riders are shooting their bows. That is a serious problem. Definitely would like to have some bugs here on the side of the Tigers. If the Tigers would go in, I think, you know, we might still be able to come away with this. Obviously, we do have like fire and shock resistance, which is going to be really nice for the thunder weapons and the explosions. But we might just HP route here, and like, you know, especially too, like our Tigers are going to kind of fight piecemeal because it's like as they run up, you know, our Tigers will start to engage in melee while the rest of these guys just, you know, continue to fire their bows. So yeah, like I would say just because of how these sacreds kind of operate, it's, you know, maybe not worth like focusing on them, because like this is just really frustrating to try to use them in battle. And yeah, we're having some routes now. You can see like, yeah, like no, they're not actually able to kill the Tigers, right? Because the thunder weapons, you know, aren't really going to do anything thanks to the shock resistance, and ethereal helps a lot, like against mundane attacks. And then, yeah, so I think our Tigers are probably going to come away with this, but a lot scarier than it had to be. And yeah, we do take some damage. Yeah, I think we lose a few guys from the death explosions. We do only have the 5 shock resistance, right? Or sorry, 5 fire resistance because of the bark skin interacting there. So we're a little more vulnerable to fire attacks than we normally would be. But yeah, so I mean, it looks like the lesser elementals didn't work out. They did not do as much as I expected, even without the magic weapons, which can be a little tricky, you know, for the air elementals and the fire elementals. With all types of elementals, you do kind of want a critical mass, and we just weren't really able to achieve that. So we do still lose a lot, right? We lose, you know, everything, but we only lose 1 sacred, right? And you can see, like, yeah, they do the majority of the killing. They're really what matters. So even though this looks kind of painful and is a little painful, right? We do lose a mage. That hurts. But, you know, like, this is a pretty big win, especially considering, you know, we wiped out a ton of province defense, which, you know, did okay, got some kills. Our Sacred's here for 37 of them, and the Hellbless, they did at least get 25 kills, like our most kills. And most of the wizards escaped. We lost 4 of these guys who fell asleep, you know, summoning their air elementals. So that hurts, but, like, yeah, you know, obviously with the position that we're in, like, this is kind of it. So yeah, elementals did not work out early on there. Maybe not such a good defense, or maybe just need greater numbers. Obviously with the Hellbless, you know, we weren't able to bring as many mages to bear. So like maybe a more reasonable defense with scales, but maybe want to consider, you know, a different research path early for these guys. So yeah, that kind of concludes the Hellblessed attempt, and now like we'll switch and do a full scales build for both of these nations and kind of see like how that feels, and then maybe, you know, again bring like 2 kind of more scales armies against each other with both of these nations.